and welcome to the Energy Within podcast with Chelynne and Cathrine, where we discuss womanhood, motherhood, spirituality, and more.
On this episode, join our conversation about happy brain chemicals and the importance of getting your daily dose of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So grab a pen and a piece of paper because we're going to be giving some tips, tricks, and explaining them more clearly. This is a topic I know quite a bit about, but it's a fairly newish topic for Chelynne.
Yeah,
she learned a lot.
I went on a deep dive doing the research for this. I'm very excited. We all know we have hormones, and we know kind of the gist of what they do for us and how they work in our body. So my goal with this episode, I don't know if it's the same goal as yours.
Well, let's find out.
Probably the same goal is that I want you, listener, to understand that we have these hormones in our bodies for a reason, and that we can the knowledge that we have with them so that we can use them to our advantage.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I think my purpose behind this episode is just to like educate in general.
Yeah.
But also to like show you that your brain can be hacked. A lot of us feel like our brains are working against us, and it's more of like finding a partnership and hacking your brain. So Daily Dose, and if you're looking at the title of this episode, you'll see how it's a D.O.S.E.S. You know what I mean?
An acronym?
Yeah, acronym? Thank you so
word?
much. Yes, I
Okay.
believe so. So what you want to do, hopefully, is that every single day you want to try to increase the brain chemicals for dopamine, D, oxytocin, O, S, serotonin, and E, endorphins. And we'll give you some specific ways to do that based on each little thing. But as long as you're intentionally setting yourself up for success to hit those 4 things, your brain will become healthier over time. You'll feel better, etc., etc.
I love the acronym. I didn't figure that out until you told me that like last week.
It was pretty cool. When I learned it,
It blew my mind, literally.
I watched it explode on the FaceTime.
Yeah, you did. Alrighty, so first off in the dose, D for dopamine. Dopamine is typically your reward. So that is anything that will make you feel pleasure in some way. It could be sex, it could be really good food, it could be seeing something that makes you really happy, or listening to good music, like anything that will just give you that dope of some kind of reward, stimulation, that sort of thing.
Yeah, if I might interject, if that's
of
okay.
Course.
Part of the reason that our generation, the generation below us and whatnot, is so addicted to scrolling on our phones is because the constant reel, like reels are so short and you can just keep scrolling TikToks and whatever, that gives you endorphins. So people are addicted to their phones.
Endorphins or
dopamine, I'm sorry. Okay. The reason that people are so addicted to their phones is because we are getting a constant influx of unnatural but easily acquired dopamine.
Instant quick fire dopamine effect.
Yeah. So like the second you're like, you as in like a universal you are like alone and your brain has time to think, most of us will reach for our phones because we're like, oh no, can't do it. Where's the dopamine? Because it's too much work for our tired, addicted brains to make its own dopamine.
Yeah.
So we seek out easy sources.
Yeah. Maybe. Just a thought.
I'm gonna hear it.
Scrolling through old photos?
Well, that could probably unlock
like
some
happy moments.
Yeah, like maybe make like a little dopamine album on your phone.
Ooh, or like a Pinterest one. I think you sent me that.
Yeah.
A Pinterest board of things that make you happy.
Yeah, that would be really good. Then it's a little bit more controlled and it's curated.
Yes, it's curated. It's really specific for you. You've picked the things that you're choosing to give you dopamine.
Kind of rolling off of that as well. This is not planned. Kind of rolling off of that as well. Like a dopamine like music playlist on Apple Music or Spotify or something like that.
Yeah.
Songs that like make you feel really good.
I have my playlist. It's called Good Vibes.
That's good. Yeah. That's really, really good. On How I Met Your Mother, Barney Stinson had like a mixtape, and it wasn't like, or not like, but like a CD, and he was like, it's all rise. It starts with a really good song, and there's no down. It's just it's all rise. I always remembered that.
I like that. All right, moving on.
Moving forward.
Moving on to the next section of dose, we got the O for oxytocin. This one has to do with love, arousal. Typically, like when you have some kind of bond or a connection with somebody, it could be your partner, it could be your family, it could be your children, it could be a random stranger. That sort of connection and love that you get is oxytocin. Now, what I found super cool about oxytocin specifically is that it's a loop based hormone. So typically, your hormones they get secreted and then go down.
Okay.
They secrete and then they lower the levels of they lower.
Is it like genuine? This is a genuine question. Is
Yes.
it like a deep dive or is it like a gradual falling off?
I would say typically it's a gradual fall off.
Okay.
Yeah. But with oxytocin, if you do more of the thing that creates that oxytocin, it just keeps going. It keeps looping over and over and over and over. And then the spiritual sidebar that I got from that is that in our lives, or for me in general, like you have an unlimited amount of love for people. You never run out of love. It is always there, always flowing, always coming, always looping, like oxytocin, the love hormone. I love that. I got very excited when I just like pinged that in my head.
Do you know this? No. So you gave birth at home.
Yes.
I gave birth in a hospital, but I was a C-section. Mm-hmm. But for people who give vaginal birth in a hospital, they can give you pitocin.
Yes.
Did you know about that?
I do know about pitocin,
which is fake oxytocin.
Yeah.
Which is like pumps a version of oxytocin into your body to help you like get the baby out because oxytocin is a very powerful.
It's very important for labor.
Yeah.
Like that came up a lot. It's very important for labor and new moms.
Just in general. Yeah. So like skin to skin is incredible for building oxytocin.
Yeah.
And
for babies and adults.
For babies and adults, yeah, skin to skin is really important to do with your partner. Mm-hmm. That's why we hug. Mm-hmm. It's also really important to when you hug somebody to do it for at least 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that's how long it takes for the pathways to fire and
things.
do their brain thingies. Yeah. We're clearly not scientists or doctors, but
not at all.
So we're not going to say all of the proper words. Yeah. Hug your family and your friends. Mm-hmm. Do skin to skin. Mm-hmm. And at least 6 seconds.
Okay. Next up in the dose is serotonin, which is your mood stabilizer. It creates like a serenity within your body and a hopefulness. Most people know that low levels of serotonin leads to depression. And then we have endorphins, which I think are probably my favorite.
I love endorphins.
Next to oxytocin.
I love endorphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Endorphins is like number one for me, and then dopamine, and then oxytocin, and then serotonin. Probably because I need a lot of serotonin, so my brain's just like mad about it.
Fair.
Anyways,
that's fair.
With your endorphins.
So endorphins is a natural painkiller. So it's released when you are feeling stressed or in pain. So my favorite quote is, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins makes you happy. And happy people just don't kill their husbands.
Which is, of course, from Legally Blonde.
Yeah. So when you are feeling stressed or in pain, like at the gym, you're working out, it's painful. Then the endorphins.
So it helps you push through and do another rep or another set. But it's not just in the gym, although that is the most common. It is the most common thing. But like when you're doing something and you know it sucks, you get that endorphin. You get an endorphin rush at the end of it. Like me, for example, when I work out, I am almost like mentally high after it. Because I'm just like, oh my God, I just did that. And that was amazing. And that was hard. And I actually accomplished the thing. That also could be dopamine, though, because I get my little check mark.
Yes.
On my board.
Well, yeah, that's definitely dopamine. But I did a thing.
But yeah, like it's less of it's a mind high, but it's also a body high. I'm like, all right, like let's freaking go, you know? Mm-hmm.
The other day, I was about to go to the gym and I was feeling a lot of sadness. I was literally crying in the parking lot of the gym. And then I went to the gym. And I felt so much better afterwards. So endorphins does make you happy.
It is that it all works together.
Yes.
And like this, like I said, I get the endorphins and I get dopamine from doing the workouts. I think something really funny and kind of, I call it annoying in a way, is that drinking your water, taking your vitamins, eating good food, and working out really will, and spending time with people you love, excuse me, will really take care of all of this.
Yeah,
if you are doing those 5 things every single day, you will not have to be so in your head about, am I hitting my daily dose? Because those will cover all of your things.
Literally cover everything. Yeah, when I was looking at the like how to boost all of these different things,
yeah, you're gonna talk about
so many of them tie in together,
yeah,
and are like the same thing. It literally is those 5 steps.
I left out meditation. I should have put that in there.
Oh yeah, meditation is huge, huge, and I'm only just realizing that as of a few months ago.
To me,
how important it is.
I think too that a very important like distinction to make, and we can talk about that on a different episode, meditation as a whole. But to me, meditation is like what I used to think it was, is you have to sit and you have to achieve perfect calm and peace to truly get the benefits of meditation, and you don't. There are so many forms of meditation and ways to tap into it. You can do guided, and we'll talk about it in a different episode. Yeah. But don't shirk the idea of meditation just because you're like, I can't do it. I can't sit in a field surrounded by flowers and be perfectly at peace. Like, nobody is asking you to show up that way. No. And if they are, get a different freaking person to listen to.
Yeah. Not a part of the daily dose,
but important.
Is adrenaline. So adrenaline is, of course, your fight or flight. Anytime your body feels some kind of danger, whether actual reality danger or in your head danger, that adrenaline kicks in. Too little of it, we feel sleepy. Too much of it, we get like twitchy and nervous. Something I find always cool when you have like an adrenaline rush is that your hands and feet go cold, which I thought was so super cool. Yeah, because like your blood pressure, it's like your blood is going to the main part of your body, kind of a thing. So it's just like, yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I thought that was
adrenaline's all you. Cool. I don't really have anything to add about that, but all I know is that adrenaline can like help mom lift cars off babies and things like that's what adrenaline is to me. It's like a huge push to get stuff done, and you can only unlock it if something you love or you or yourself are in danger. Cortisol gets in your brain. Again, we are not scientists and we are not doctors, but this morning when I woke up and I was telling you, right? Now that I'm a little bit more aware, and because I'm spiritual, but I felt and like could sense the cortisol flooding my brain, and it wasn't adrenaline. It was this different thing that was like, something's wrong, as opposed to like, you're gonna die. No, adrenaline to me is like, something's wrong, I'm gonna do something about it. Okay. Whereas cortisol to me is like, something's wrong, I'm scared and I don't know what to do. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Like adrenaline is like, I'm gonna lift a car, whereas cortisol is like, I would just like a car to fall on me so I don't have to deal with this anymore. That's not a scripted answer. But yeah, it's different. Okay. Cortisol is what happens to your brain when you're just stressed out, I guess. Gotcha. Yeah, and so we have to lower our cortisol. Yes. So that we can think clearly, and that also like affects you very negatively. Cortisol will have you keep weight on your body, won't let you detox and things like that. Yeah. So if you are doing your dopamine and your oxytocin and your serotonin and your endorphins, that will help heal your cortisol. Gotcha. Fun facts.
In my research, I learned about the different parts of the brain.
That's not helpful. For everybody listening, you won't be able to see what we're doing, but I'm going to be holding up a picture of the brain. Okay, so for everybody on YouTube, here you go. For everybody listening, please just Google diagram of brain. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Chelynne will speak, and when it's appropriate, I will point on the thing.
Yeah, so there's a few things that are important. We have the pituitary gland, which has to do with your hormones. So, oh yes, there's a picture. Pituitary gland. So when that's the thing that says we need to secrete this hormone right now. You have your hypothalamus, which is your messenger. So that says, listens to the pituitary gland and says, oh, hey, I hear you. I got the call. We're sending this out to the body.
We're in the very center.
You have the amygdala in there as well, which has to do with your fight or flight. The amygdala is one of the first things in your brain that's developed when you are in the womb. It's your fight or flight. It's basically your survival. Okay. So, and then this is the rest of your brain. Okay. So we have your outer lobes. This is why I had the outer lobes. We have the occipital lobe, the parietal lobe, and then the frontal lobe, and like the prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
So when your body or your brain starts to feel scared or in danger, and the adrenaline kicks in, right? All of the blood that's in the top smart part of your brain goes, and it focuses only on this amygdala in order to basically save you. Like there's some kind of danger. So for myself, I have anxiety and whatnot. My brain just basically shuts down and says, "You need to run and get the fuck out now, or you're gonna die." Even though, like it's like the running from a saber-toothed tiger. There's no saber-toothed tigers anymore, but like we still have that aspect of it.
So that I like referencing things to movies, and so do you. So like we as a functioning human being use all of our brain.
Yes.
When we are in safe places, that's why we can reach enlightenment and things like that. But when we are in fight or flight responses, we go back to the core and we become the girl in the horror movie running up the stairs when she should be running out the front door. Because you don't have the brain power and the brain capacity and the literal physical blood flow to think, I should run out the front door.
Yeah.
You think upstairs, bedroom, safe.
Logical brain shuts down entirely.
So people are like, oh, to themselves or to other people, why didn't you make a smarter decision? You physically can't. So be gentler to yourself and be gentle to the people around you.
Show yourself grace.
Yeah. Because you can't.
When your brain shuts down.
Because you can't function. And that's human.
It's human.
Because when we were created, we were cavemen and there was elephants and mountain lions and saber-toothed tigers.
Yeah.
And now saber-toothed tigers are calling the doctor's office and booking an appointment. And you're like, this should be so simple. Why am I so scared of something like this?
Yes. But or thinking of a conversation you need to have with somebody. Yeah. Moving on. There's two more things inside your central brain. There's the hippocampus, which has to do with your memory.
And it's not a hippopotamus.
It's not a hippopotamus. But I always think of that. Hippocampus. And then you have your pineal gland, which has to do with your sleep.
Regardless.
Now, we know what the hormones are.
Yes.
We know how they're functioning in our brain. And things that can potentially trigger them. Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out
how to hack your brain.
How to hack your brain. Yes.
And if that doesn't speak to your soul, how to just like take better care of your brain so that it can service you and help you be stronger. Stronger isn't a word, but so dopamine.
Dopamine. Foods that are high in triacine, like dairy food, avocados, and bananas. Also, it said meditation, things that involve the senses, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a therapy thing. It's a grounding exercise.
Oh, yeah.
So like 5 things you see, 4 things.
4 things you hear.
Yeah.
3 things you smell.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know, but I wonder if that's like a dopamine.
So yeah, anything that involves your senses and things that make you feel pleasure. So everybody's pleasure trigger is going to be different, right? So my suggestion would be to make a list of things that make you feel happy, like I do in my book. I think I say that.
You do. I do think you do.
I called it the abundance list. Things that make you feel happy. Oxytocin for the next one. Things like music, cuddles with loved ones, massage, which I thought was really cool. Speaking with loved ones about how much you care for them, just having like good, deep, meaningful conversations with people that you love. Time with friends, meditation, meaningful conversations. I just said that. Sex. That's always good.
Sex is also great for dopamine as well because it's a pleasure. I mean, as long as you're having good sex.
And it involves a lot of senses.
And may I also recommend for both of these things, and probably endorphins too.
Yeah.
All of them, masturbation. Can I recommend masturbation?
Oh, yes. That's a form of self-love.
It is.
By the way.
Genuinely, it's so good for you.
It is. Orgasm a day keeps
the depression away.
I was gonna say that too. Doing something nice for others, and also petting dogs.
Yeah, cats too. Do you remember the thing? I know
petting animals in general.
She is a dog person. I'm a cat person.
5
well, we don't discriminate. We love all animals, but the reverberations, the vibrations in cats purring can cure depression.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like a frequency thing.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Not scientist, not a doctor.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
Pet an animal. I don't know if a snake would count, but
I mean, if you like snakes. Next on the dose triggers, good triggers. We've got serotonin. So different kind of foods like eggs, cheese, pineapple, salmon, nuts and seeds, turkey because of the tryptophan apparently is good for that, which I always find is funny because tryptophan makes you sleepy, right? Big turkey dinner for Thanksgiving.
But maybe it's the opposite of like anxious and moving and fight or flight, right? Like maybe it's like slow down, relax, have a little wee nap after a lovely meal.
I like that approach. Exercise, natural light, so like getting out for a walk, being in the sun.
Sunlight, very good for
Sunlight's
serotonin.
Great. Massage, meditating on things that make you happy. That one's very specific. So just not like meditation in general, but specifically things that make you happy. Socializing, laughing, helping others, swimming. And then the last one we got is endorphins. So, of course, exercise, any kind of physical movement, really, sex, also physical movement, massage, acupuncture, creating art, which I thought was cool.
Love
like that sparking, create any kind of art. Meditation again, laughing, watching your favorite shows and listening to your favorite songs. And the other one that's not a part of the daily dose, but it helps me a lot in terms of how my brain works, is adrenaline, which also comes from your pituitary gland. So anything that your body takes as danger. So again, saber-tooth tiger is not actually saber-tooth tiger. Cliff diving, skydiving, bungee jumping, those could all be like healthy forms of adrenaline.
Listen, for someone else.
For someone else. It's not your kind of adrenaline, but it is something that like makes you feel alive.
Yeah. Right? I'm gonna be honest.
And very present in the moment.
If y'all ever see that I've signed up for skydiving or cliff diving, call the authorities because I've been body snatched or I have a death wish. It's not something to celebrate. Not
something that you want to do.
This is a cry for help.
So other things, so there's like, that's the physical aspect of it. So other things like thoughts within anxiety can also trigger that. Like the smoke alarm is going off, but there's no actual fire.
Like roller coasters.
Yeah.
I think that would be like a really good way too to like hit that adrenaline trigger in a healthy way. Yeah. It's like, could we die? Maybe.
Yeah.
To me.
If you ever watched Final Destination, you could die. That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
The trauma of Final Destination in millennials.
So now that you have all of this information about the daily dose and adrenaline and things like that, and the brain, we encourage you to, of course, do your own research, but also to make what I like to call a daily dose menu. So write down the 4 pillars: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and then list actions that you like from what we gave you, from what you find in your own research, so that every single day you can go and you can give yourself little check marks, which is a nice dopamine boost, and make sure that you're hitting all of your different categories just for your health of your brain and things like that. And then when you have that menu sitting there, put it on your fridge or on your phone or something like that, then you don't have to be like, oh, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? And like stress yourself out unnecessarily. You'll just be like, pick one thing a day and do it that way. So that is what we have for you today. Thank you for joining our conversation about the daily dose and brain things. With the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be
I'm really excited for this one too.
Which is going to be about tarot cards and how they're always right and how annoying they are and what a great tool they are.
They're a great tool.
And so we're very excited about that.
Yeah.
We would love to hear your thoughts. And if you have any tips for us that you discover, we would, just share. This is a community. So we would actually love to hear what you think.
Yeah, we really do. You can find us over at the Energy Within podcast, and that's on all platforms. And we hope that you see your power today.